What's going on, people? Welcome back to Rootz TV, Trent Park, and I'm joined by the legend himself. He's returned.
It's been a while.
It's been a very long while, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm nice, man. I'm nice. I'm always good. Come on. Bless
Hey,
them.
look at the summer drink, like, this is summer apple.
No, this is the first time I've actually worn normal civilian clothes, and we've had a decent conversation, and I don't look like I'm homeless. Like this is, yeah, man.
You never look homeless, man. Never look
something
homeless.
Like that, something
but
like that.
glad to hear you're well, man. You ready to cause some carnage?
I think I just said it. Some people want to see the world burn.
Look, we're just here to give honest opinions, man. Can't be Rootz TV, can't be Apple Westcott without causing a bit of carnage, bit of mayhem, but also giving our just opinions on the scene.
Do you know what? What's this? This is like our 4th year talking. Do you know why I always like talking to you specifically? Is because anywhere else, any other space that I'm in on planet Earth other than my home, I don't feel like I can be myself. The only other place I can be myself and not be persecuted for it is right here. Mm-hmm. That's the reason why I actually like talking to you.
It's good.
I say I don't get persecuted. Listen, actually, to be fair, no one's really been man enough to jump in my DMs and talk crazy. So, but I talk crazy in the comment section.
Yeah.
But no. This is probably, listen, whether I'm at work, whether I'm on the touchline, I always find myself having to somewhat deduct from who and what I am, because I think I can be a bit too much for some people. But otherwise, here is the only other place other than inside my walls where I can be unapologetically myself. So I appreciate you for creating that kind of environment, man. It's nice.
No, it's good, and it's a safe space here as well, man. So you can talk your talk.
Listen, I'm nice anywhere I go, man, except East.
Oh, funny enough, you said East. Let's start from East, shall we?
Let's go.
Let's talk Baiteze now. After the season that they've had, Tommie's walked away. Like Craig David, he's walking away. There's no Baiteze manager, man. Let's assess the season for Baiteze, man. They've gone from, undefeated the previous season, London Cup final winners against SC Dons at FC Wimbledon Stadium, to poor season by their standards. So it's a very poor season. They know it, we know it, the fans know it. And then the gaffers just said, basically, I've had enough.
Yeah, I think maybe he's just taken them as far as he can. And I think sometimes that's the reality. Where do you go after such success? And it takes a really, respectfully, a really, not just a strong personality, but it takes a really different kind of character to be obsessive in your pursuit of success. And how does that look? And I think sometimes you can be successful once or twice, but how do you replicate that? And sometimes trying to replicate it is where you go wrong. And I think that's where they went wrong. They were trying to replicate what they done, and you can't replicate it. You have to find a new way to be successful, a new way to get the job done. So it might start pretty, and the next time you do it, it's going to be ugly. If you look at, probably it's not the same level, but I'm going to use Man United as an example.
Yeah.
If you look at each time United won the league, it's different. You could argue and say it was almost a different assistant manager every time that was doing the coaching. We know Fergie was the manager, but almost every time it was a different version of Manchester United. They would win a league ugly, 1-0s, 2-0s at best, and then other times free-flowing football, bop. You had Nani, Ronaldo, Tevez, Rooney, so you just have to find new ways to be successful. Now, as players get older and players become more experienced, and injuries and life and all of these kinds of things happen, the dynamic of a squad changes. Yeah. And you just have to find a new way to put your finger on the pulse of that team and go, right, we can't do it this way anymore because we're better at this, but we're worse at that. And you have to find a new way to be successful. And I think that's all it boils down to. And this isn't a disrespect to the gaffer. This is just him saying, I've done the best that I can do.
Yeah, especially with the circumstances.
I respect it. Yeah, and I respect it highly. He's done a great job. Baiteze have been fantastic. They've been amazing. They've been amazing. So, no arguments, really. Can't really say much about it.
Yeah, the circumstances don't help themselves, though. Like, what was it, 10 people had to leave the group chat. You had your best 2 players. Was it Ruben Jr.? He's obviously playing step 2 football, maybe?
Yeah.
Josh, obviously, he's gone pro now, so congratulations to Josh, as always.
Yeah, big up yourself
so
for that, man.
If you're losing 2 of your better players and not replacing them in the same like for like, it's going to be tough, man.
Yeah. Again, like I said, the dynamic changes because I mean, if you look at, again, I'll use another pro, because it's a lot easier to use pro clubs as examples. You don't, if you look at Liverpool, they're losing Trent. You don't just try to find another Trent. That's not how it works. You now have to look at a new way to be creative. So you say, okay, well, we can't, there just isn't another right back like Trent that can do the things that he can do.
Yeah.
So rather than us try to do that, let's find another way to find these assists and these kinds of passes into these areas. So we go, okay, well, we can't find a right back like that, but we can find a left midfielder that can do that, or we can find a centre midfielder that can do that. And then how do you adjust your team around that change? That comes from removing a centre midfielder to put the creative guy in. And it's, like I said, the dynamic is so vast. It takes a really talented and obsessive individual to even grasp that concept.
But it's also timing, though.
And the timing is key.
Bearing in mind, we're talking about Sunday League managers here, innit?
Yeah.
So we're not talking about, I know you're referring to pro clubs, and that's great, but we're talking about Sunday League gaffers, man.
Yeah.
By the time Tommie's done his 9 to 5 or whatever, does he really want to be waking up with like, oh man, 11 people dropped out, I've got to find 11 new players for this Sunday? Do you know what I mean? Big game against, I don't know, Hatchley, for example. Like, do you physically have the time? And Sunday League gaffers, you probably can relate to this as well, man. The amount of times people just drop out on a Sunday of the morning of the game, and you're like, flipping now, why am I doing this? I'm not getting paid to do this. I do it for the love. Why am I doing this? I could be doing other things.
It is graft, you know. I think there's so many people that will watch YouTube and will watch on the socials and don't really understand what goes into being a manager or even being a coach. And it's listen, I don't complain about it because you know what you're signing up for, but at the same time you expect a little bit of understanding. But I always say to those that reach out, I guess it's kind of tough love. The first thing I always say to the people that reach out to me and ask, how do you deal with this? How, you know, what's that like? I always say to them, the world doesn't owe you an understanding. You know, and it's up to you to try to find resolve within yourself and say, right, why am I actually doing this? And that's got to be your overarching purpose behind having to deal with the text messages, having to deal with the group chat, and this one's flaky, that one, you know, has been out and had a drink on a Saturday or whatever it is. But ultimately, if you're choosing to be in that environment, you have to accept what comes with it. It's just not always easy, and it is what it is.
So how do they move on from here, man, in terms of managers? Like, do they get someone internal? Do they go external?
They DM Apple Westcott and they say, listen, we need you to come and not just stabilise the ship, but make us fly again.
Yeah. Could you deal with Imid?
Oh, are you mad? There's no one I couldn't deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? I'd pay to see that's box office. Imagine you benching Imid first game of the season, boy.
I wouldn't need to bench him.
Nah?
Why would I need to bench him?
I'm just saying, like, if he's turning up late for you, I know you're not taking any shit.
No,
if he's not pulling his socks up and working as a number 10 should, or a captain should, I know you're not taking no ish.
It's not even about taking shit. I think, do you know what? I'm in a completely different period in my life where I think sometimes you have to be a little bit more empathetic, especially in this new generation of players and people. Society isn't the same as when I was growing up. And therefore your approach has to change ever so slightly. And it's not that I would be so different to how I was with Takers or any other team that I've been at. It's more just to do with having a broader outlook on life and understanding that some people have got their struggles, and if they're struggling to be on time, let's look at why. Rather than punish him for being late, why is he being late? Can I help him with those things?
Yeah.
Or can I get somebody to help him with those things? So, yeah, I think there's new ways to get the best out of people, but I guess that's what experience is, isn't it? You know?
Okay, well, Baiteze, you heard it here first, man.
I was joking. Do not DM me.
What do you mean?
I'm playing. I'm open to all suggestions.
Oh, if it's not you, then...
No, listen, I'm just throwing jokes out there, but
okay.
I do think they need to find someone that is young enough and old enough at the same time to still understand the scene and also, I guess, drive the standards. Yeah. And that's all it is, really, just drive the standards, set a quality level and go, this is how we want to play, this is what we want to achieve, and then just use that as your catalyst. And I think they'll be fine ultimately. They're still Baiteze, don't, you know, the big teams still have, they're okay to have off seasons, which I'm sure is going to take us into an interesting segue.
Yeah, we'll get into that shortly. But last thing, I think the power shifted though away from them in terms of who the powerful team is in East London. Like, I think it's East London Ballers now. Do you know what I mean? They've taken quite a few Baiteze players. they've dominated. They did well in the National Cup, got to the semis as well. So I think the power's shifted now. So they need to not only get a new manager, but get that kind of power shift back.
That doesn't mean the power shifted. Yeah, I think, no, that doesn't mean the power shifted at all. And I respectfully disagree. Because, listen, Baiteze have history and they have a dynasty that they stand on. And those foundations don't just crumble overnight. Again, I apologise to use pro clubs as a reference point, but for most people, it's what they understand. The legacy of Manchester United is still so big that at this point, they still haven't crumbled. And it has been 15 years. 15 years of transition.
You're hurting, I know.
Let me not speak.
I know he's hurting.
The pain in my chest, Rootz. Yeah, the pain in my chest. No, but listen, it's been 15 years for Man United and still look at them.
Yeah, struggling.
Still look at them. So, you know, I think it would be a long time before any team in East could turn around and say that they are East London. It's not possible. Baiteze at East London, end of story.
Still, okay. And then manager-wise, I think it's going to go internal, like I said before, or someone close to the group. Who's that guy? Abdi Wenger. He's part of their social group. I think he might take it. Or Quincy. Do you know what I mean? Someone like that who's maybe coming to the end of his career, might step up and be the manager. But I think they can be great again. I think they just need to get another core group that they can back for the next couple of years, right?
You know the difference is it's not with certain clubs. It's not a matter of if they can be great again. It's a matter of when they'll be great again. And I think it's a matter of when for Baiteze. It's not even just about the name. It's about the history of what they do. You don't win repeatedly, and it's a fluke. That's not how football works. I believe in patterns, and you know, these things they swing in strange roundabouts. And like everything, like fashion, it always comes back around. So they might have a bad year this year. They might have a transition year next year. But I would put everything that I own on Baiteze winning the league title or winning a London Cup or doing something crazy in the next 2 seasons, 100%.
You think they'll ever go non-league?
I think we touched on this previously.
Yeah.
I said they should have done it this year.
Yeah, after they won the London Cup.
That was it, it's time to go.
Yeah.
It was time to go. Will they do it? I don't think the people behind Baiteze want to do it. That's the impression that I get. I don't think they want to do it because if they really wanted to, let's get it right. They could have done it ages ago.
Yeah.
Because they've been more successful than some that have. So it is what it is.